Morning, everyone. I had an interesting time trying to sleep last night, but then again, I did go to bed early for once and just didn't bother to do my dailies yet, so I'll be getting to that after this. But I probably needed to get that sleep. I feel like my mind was on the verge of coherent madness, which isn't good because it means I think I'm sane when I'm really not. Uh, that makes me more prone to taking impulsive and reckless decisions. I don't like that, because then I don't think about the impacts until they're in my face. So, yeah, there's that. Part of me is distracted by trying to pick a scab on my skin, and it's just like, no, don't do that, brain. Come on. Hmm. Hmm. Oh. So, yeah, no, I kept having this dream either before or after I woke up, went to the bathroom in the dark, and then just kind of returned to sleep. Speaking of, I should probably check if I booked this the toilet, because I didn't know if I got that right. Shit. Oh, but no, I had this one repeating dream for a solid while where it was just me waking up in my bed to a dripping sound out of the air vent. Hey, it was raining outside, and somehow the water was getting inside. And sure, the AC vent may have been where it started, but eventually it formed into a puddle on the floor and then water dripping from the ceiling. In the dream, it got explained away as like water rot. And I had the most annoying time for sleeping for a moment there. Because eventually in the dream, it got to the point where I was just helping my mom lay towels down across the house so as to, make sure that we wouldn't be walking in water. And then at that point, I just decided, nah, mate, this ain't worth it. Woke up, took a look around, checked to see if I was awake or not, then tried to go back to sleep, only to fall right back into the same fucking dream. Happened like what, five, seven times? Where I would just start nodding off, and my brain was like, "Oh, you want this dream again?" And I was just like, "No," and I would go back to being awake, checking the door of my reality, and then laying my head back down until the dream tried starting again. And it was like that for like what, maybe a good 15 minutes, half an hour. I don't really know how long I was asleep for every time between waking up and falling back asleep. But eventually my brain got the hint and was just like, nah, mate, I know what you're looking for. And so it just turned to one of the usual crazy adventure things. Thank fuck for that. Though looking at what water rot is described as, in over the internet, just from a general summary. Oh, root rot. Hmm. Looks like it affects wood and plant life. Now, I could see wet patches on the ceiling from where the water was dripping out. And those wet patches was what was referred to as water rot, which it wasn't the actual definition shown here, but it was like, interesting choice of words, Sprain. Interesting choice of words. Gonna analyze that later. But no, eventually got on to dealing with other things. And even though I have never seen it, the I'm Batman movie, where it's just a really spoiled rich kid, just kind of ended up being a starting point for a chain of dream stories. Which is weird, because in that one, the fucking rich ass spoiled brat ends up cornering some dude thinking the fucker's the Joker. Only for someone else who's completely fucked up to send in like a bomb or something. Walking robot filled with green liquid. And from there, the chaos just kind of spreads as I try to fucking keep my feet from touching the ground and float above all the chaos. Which got really unnerving when I started recognizing, oh hey, there are things down there that know how to work together to climb on top of each other and fling themselves up into the air to try and snatch me. Oh, that's not good. And that wasn't even like the worst of it. Another place where it was like you get scratched by people who are infected and you end up being able to carry on that infection in a way. One of the most disturbing parts was like when they had like soft paws shaped hands or whatever. And then there were like syringe needles on the end. Either way, managed to back avoid all of that and or backtrack. Back hit to a point where I hadn't gotten trapped. Because I can jump to different moments in time in my dreams, so long as I remember them well enough. Well, I've got a good archive of dream memories that I don't really know how to properly access. But every now and then I'll have a dream where it references another dream I've had, and it's like, oh, so I remember that dream. Neat. In any case, eventually got to the point where the city is just in full-blown, superpowered, and abnormal chaos. Uh, Black hole was spawned in, orbited the damn thing for a good bit before ending up being sucked inside. Guess people's power levels or level of strength allowed them to resist it for some time. Woke up as the most basic idea of Flickr. Or Nina. And from there, it was just kind of finding resources, seeing what different factions there were there, trying to fucking infiltrate an entire area where there were like robots built from bricks. And it just kept on dropping off EMP bombs as I tried to escape, only to snatch one of the spawners, go home, try and recreate it, only for the damn thing to fucking go away. And I didn't even get to see the second part of this where the story says I took the spawner home, reconfigured it to use bricks from my area, and the first thing I made from it just absolutely started running away on its own. And it's just like, huh? Because for a moment there, I was in the my perspective seemed very attached to like the skyscraper type building that was being constructed and fought in at the same time somehow. And so Flickr slash Nina version of myself was basically flew in there, had to evade all those bots for a good bit, and there were like thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of them, and then eventually got away. And I'm just in my dream. I'm just observing the. I'm just floating around, observing the perspective of one of the bots, and they're talking between one another, and it's just like, man, I wish he could go outside this building. And the other one's like, yeah, but unfortunately, at that point, we stopped working. You think they're going to be able to do anything with that spawner they stole? Nah, mate, I've yet to see anything like that work. And then my character just flies in and starts yammering about how she got it to work, and I'm just sitting there laughing my ass off as she's completely oblivious to the like contrast between her just casually talking about something and the bots just being so confused and stunned that she came back and then managed to say bullshit that they think shouldn't be possible, but it was. And then the building starts getting attacked by a different faction, and fucking hated that. Fucking hated that section so damn much. Ah, why did I hate that section so damn much? I'm about to try and draw it out. These were the most annoying weapons to go fighting up again. Giant tech-based pillars of complete and utter chaos. I hated these fucking things. Because they would just float around directed by, like, their wielder's intention and whatnot. And they were, like, heavy and thick. Like, let's see. I think I made that one too long. But, yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely made that one too long, but it's still a good size scale relative to these fucking things. It's just like, oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. I do not want to be hit by that. It would just spin and float around at you, charging up momentum until they went to just do a rollout attack. Gonna go close the door real quick. Be right back. I'm hearing a conversation from downstairs, and I don't want that showing up on recording. Uh, no, even then, I think I've got the scale of these fucking death machines drawn wrong. Let me try this again. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We have technology. I don't feel like that's quite long enough, but we'll see how it turns out. Mm. Yeah, no, it was longer. Let's try the here. Now that just feels too long. Mhm. Kinda, yeah. Something around this proportion, more or less. Most likely a little bit less. These things were a pain in the ass because they would whirl around like spinning tops, coming from different angles to try and hit you. And you'd think being indoors would make it easier to dodge them, but no, being indoors made it harder to dodge them. Because they could bend their joint in the middle. Hmm. They were made entirely out of tech and metal, and they were huge enough to where a regular person looked like this as a size comparison. Okay, maybe not that much, but definitely they were large enough to obliterate a human body if they happened to collide with it head on. Is that the exact center? I don't care. Hmm. Hmm. Can I render them properly? Probably not. But can I give a decent enough idea? Oh yeah. Fucking death machine. Alright, no. That wasn't even like the worst. That wasn't even like the only one. There were like multiple of those flying throughout the entire structure. And some builders and or construction workers who could just place chunks of building material were like, ah, we'll be safe in here since they rotate, they can't get us. Rotate sideways to fit in the gaps and just kill them even more efficiently. Ah, shit, we've made a corridor, a killing corridor. No! Yeah, no. My character was flying around trying to fucking survive. And then there were the giant fucking laser eyes. The chaos ramped up to a whole new level there. Because if one spotted you and kept track of you for too long, it would fire. And it would not just fire at you, it would take out a chunk of the building, which made it easier for other eyes. Giant floating laser eyeballs to fucking look through. And so the top of the whole building was just being completely torn to shreds bit by bit. And my character was just trying to find a single spot where she could sit down, complete some stupid little form for crafting, and then get the fuck out of there. Eventually we got away from all that bullcrap, only to end up going back to a different location and starting to just use that as our safety zone. Because, joy oh joy, the serious people, the top performers in the league were making stuff there, so surely they wouldn't wreck their own environment just to hunt down a single fucking gremlin flying throughout their their structure works. No, one of the bitches was very much too obsessed with destroying her enemies, and got the other two goobers invested into trying to find me. Again, there were so many different hiding strategies explored with that one. Ducking into dark corners and making sure that you're coated in a black veil so that way they don't notice you. Fucking hologram projection or otherwise. It's distracting. Staying out of the line of sight of the cameras. Otherwise, if they observed you for too long, they'd ping your location. And then the three would come running to try and fucking get you. Played with this concept of being very small by spatially distorting myself to fit in a smaller space, but that caused a aberrant effect around my character where things caught up in that distortion space. Electronic things were getting messed with by not the radiation necessarily, but just how long it took information that was passing through that distorted space to go from where it was to where it needs to be compared to like the usual data rate. And so they were tracking my character through that, even though she was like as big as big as a wasp, a little bit bigger. Two wasps stacked on top of each other. Yeah, that would be it. And then the crazy lady just pulls out another one of those death machines. But this time, it's a fucking square. It's a fucking rectangle, and it is huge. I cannot tell you how much I do not like these fucking weapons. Because they are created for one purpose and one person purpose only. Fucking obliterate. No, not that long. Not that wide, I should say. Yep, it's a skinny thing. And one of the fucking top leaguers, one of those one of those fuckers in the top league was like building this entire operation plant for manufacturing and helping others, and was just securely paranoid enough to have cameras making sure that no one was going throughout the place to mess with anything. But they didn't want anything getting destroyed. So I was safe until the crazy lady just decides, you know what? I don't care about my friend's project. I'm going to fucking toss this giant thing right through the fields and everything. I just. I am stunned by that decision. I'm gonna be real. At some point, my brain made up the bullshit of, yes, my current dream character originated from the black hole that we dived into. And so she's able to just spawn another one off in the distance as a distraction. But it was just stealth, evasion, not really wanting to fight a whole bunch, seeing what I could get away with. And it. Ay, ay, ay. Sparks draft, open a new window, constructed resonant stream logs. I'm not even sure I'd be able to draw it to scale properly. It's just holy shit. That thing could decimate fucking 3 floors of a building if it came in from the side. Alright, now we shrink it until these two people are about the same height. Okay, maybe. Yeah, no, I don't think the proportion is going to show properly here. So I'm gonna have to redraw another stick figure. Yeah. Yep. No. Smaller. This thing was bloody huge. 1 floor wide. 1 floor wide. Kind of. And if you're talking about office buildings with their completely compressed floor sizes. Let's see. About 6 floors tall for the original weapon. And then there was that fucking gigantic chunk and or slab. Fucking really, really disproportional response to frustration with not killing my dream character. Dear hell. Those bloody fucking death machines. If the original Flying Death Machine was like, hmm, 1 story wide and 6 stories tall, then this fucking behemoth was like 3 stories wide and fucking half a skyscraper tall. Hmm. Proportions aren't properly right, but that's okay, because they don't need to be. Just need to be good enough. I do not like the monolith slab. I would like to destroy it. Thank you. That is what I will be calling this fucking bullshit. 'Cause holy fuck. How tiny can we go? 50, 50. That's the scale of a person. That's the scale of the previous death machine in comparison to this one. I do not like this death machine. I don't really like either death machine, but if I have to choose against going up against the giant slab of death, or one of these just whirligigs, I'd go up against one of these, because at the very least there's some room to fucking brush by the surface of their spinning by shifting yourself to the left or right. With this thing, you might as well get caught up in the windstorms. Crazy bitch. Crazy bitch. Why the hell were you a part of my dream? I hope I don't have another dream where I have to face off against that thing again. Yeah, that conveys the idea clearly enough. Those bloody death machines. Nope, 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 nope. Don't want to do with it. Don't want to fight against it. Just want to get out of the way. Fuck you. Yep, yep. Nope, 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 nope. Anyways, that's about all for my dream log. See you all later. Bye.